Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the ASL, where we don't post any YouTube videos for 3 years and then we come back. Um, welcome to our season. What season are we on?
23.
23. Season 23 draft analysis with Hutch, Brad, and myself.
Hello, hello, welcome back, welcome back. We do these once a season, but only for Luvdisc, I guess. So here
Yeah.
we are.
The only real league, the real
To
division.
be fair, Relicanth doing multi-gen would have been more of an undertaking than I'd ever want to do. To do 48 draft analysis, I'm good, I'm good.
I think what we should do is we should allow unlimited trades and then do transaction videos again.
Oh, hell no. One of them took like an hour. And it had to be stitched
Uh,
together because at a different point in the day, there was like 20 more transactions.
if Blake wasn't in this season, I would be supportive of that.
Yeah,
See, what I think is going to happen is he's going to trade his team 2 mons at a time every week.
he cannot be trusted.
Could be. Could be.
But
Because he can do it.
let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get started. So number one overall pick was Codex. Went ahead and took Iron Boulder with Terra. First overall, a little bit interesting, but I get it. You know, good speeds here. Looking at this team visually, I think it has a lot of good offensive pieces. I like Keldeo. I like Iron Boulder. Ting Lu, pretty good defensively, but I think the biggest issue with this team is not a lot of great pivoting. I think there's a couple better Mons that you could have paired with Ting Lu. I don't really see the synergy quite there. I mean, Healing Wish with Gardevoir is pretty nice, but it's kind of redundant with the Mega Audino, which Mega Audino just sucks. Not getting the Terra on Electrode is kind of unfortunate, and just Tinglu being kind of your only way of setting hazards. I guess Boulder. I can't. I can't remember if Boulder gets rocks or not. I think it does. It might have been one of those weird things where it's like the paradoxes don't have it, but I'm pretty sure it does have rocks. But you're not going to run rocks Boulder if you just tear it. So, I think a lot is on Ting Lu's shoulders, but you don't really have the backbone for it because like you have a lot of mons that are like kind of Terra dependent, like Skeledirge, but you don't have Terra for it. So overall, I think it's probably like a B average team. A lot of good pieces. I just think could have done a little bit better in some areas. Very fast and good speed tiers though.
Boulder does not get Stealth Rock.
Okay,
or
that's what I
Showdown.
thought. That's what I thought.
But Ting Lu's like a weekly bring, right?
Oh, sure.
So it's basically a Stealth Rock kind of gear. You're bringing your Stealth Rock Mon every week, whether it has it or not. I mean, Ting Lu's coming probably every week this season. So I'm not as super concerned about the hazard world, being that Ting Lu's pretty much always coming and can usually afford to carry spikes or rocks. Nice bulk on the team, Skeledirge, and then Ting Lu, and also Udra. Nice little, I think synergistically a decent little core. I also share the concern with the pivoting. If you really want to, Keldeo can pivot now, right, with flip turn.
Yep.
And Tortoise has U turn. And those are both actually pretty nice offensive mons. I like those two mons. I think they will be fairly good offensively, but they are fairly similar, right? They're right around almost the exact same speed tier. They're going to get walled by fairly similar things. So maybe a little too alike for what they have. But in general, those should be pretty regular brings for this team's makeup and offer a nice amount of offense. It's not my favorite team. I think Boulder is really fun. I think that'll be cool. But I think they will struggle in terms of momentum. It'll be a lot of hard switching. I don't mind Mega Audino, but I think it fits better in like fast pivoting offense and just be like your fat wall. Whereas on a team where you already have Skeledirge, you already have Ting Lu, it might be the wrong fit. Not a bad mon in my book, just might not be the right fit. But the team's okay. I think it'll outbulk some teams, be hard to deal with, but I don't know that it's a well balanced roster.
Me personally, I was telling Hutch before this, I'm not very big fan of his offense. It's a good thing Boulder is Terran because it's most likely going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that department, from my personal opinion. Um, yeah, like you said, Keldeo and Tornadoes kind of do similar things, and I think it's going to be a struggle for him personally in the offensive department.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And also, Urshifu Rapid just 6-0 his team on preview. But, you know.
Did anyone even draft that? Oh, wait, no, we can't draft it.
I don't know. Yeah. So I guess. Okay, did anyone draft Ditto? Because Keldeo also just runs this team.
Just get killed by his own Pokemon.
There's a couple teams that is true for, but moving on to the next one.
Shadow. I don't think we should talk about Shadow. He's a bad person.
Whoa.
Bad coach.
Whoa.
Actually, Shadow, didn't he make the playoffs?
Yeah, he's on a
season.
2-season streak. Yeah.
Wow. Look at this turnaround. You know, Malone, dumpster fire for forever. You know, and then he did things. Look at Shadow. Shadow and Malone. They're like two dumpsters in a dumpster bin, and then now they're making playoffs, doing things. Proud of you, boys. Not really, but proud
I think
of
it's
you.
because all the good people quit draft, isn't it?
Whoa. Are we saying these are fraud playoffs?
No.
That's
I'm not,
crazy.
Brett would say that. Which all the
I mean, you guys
Brett
let
makes
me make playoffs. I don't know why you guys let that happen.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
you're part
in
of
terms of this team, it, I love the fast offense. You got the Weavile, you've got the Swallow, but Weavile, like in Rock, no pivot moves. You've got, again, I think a similar issue to the last team in that pivoting is not going to come super naturally. You've got some birds that are pretty good pivots. Tentacruel, you know, I think it could flip turn. Outside of that, you know, you're really going to need Sylveon to get you into good positions, which puts a lot of pressure on Sylveon when it already has to wish and protect itself. I do like Steelix. I think that's a fun mon. I don't get the Hydrapple. I know he likes it. I know he's had success with it in the past. So I hope it works for him. I don't think it's worth the value he's put into it. But the offense should be fun. Weavile's very powerful. Nidoking Gen 1 still's got it. It's still good. It's still super cool. Zapdos is always useful. It's an okay team, you know, and I think there's mons here that Shadow personally is pretty comfortable with, but I would not enjoy using it for my skill set and my playstyle.
Yeah, It looks like Shadow drafted a bunch of mons that he's personally just really comfortable with. Hydrapple, I used it briefly in my last season, and me and Lily had to get pretty creative with it to make it work. Although we didn't have it Terra, it's still
that's a pretty big difference. I will just jump in and say that.
Yeah, it is Terra, so it can probably do a little bit more, but it's pretty limited in what it can do, especially since it doesn't have Leech Seed. But yeah, just looking at his team, I'll just run through things that he's used before quite extensively. Lycanroc, Nidoking, Hydrapple, this is what, his second or third time now.
Third or fourth.
Yeah, I think he's used Terra. I think he used Tentacruel just a couple times. He's used Swallow as most used Mon, like what you said.
This is the seventh time.
Seventh time. And yeah, he's used all of these pretty extensively, so he knows these mons, and he can probably make it work, even though synergistically it might be a little bit of a rocky road, but if he's comfortable with it, he could probably make it work.
Yeah, so I think the stat was it's more likely that you burn with Scald, or it's less likely that you burn with Scald than Shadow Draft Swallow in an ASL season. Like he's used this guy 7 times. But I'm gonna jump in here because I think Hydrapple is one of the best Terra captains in the format. I have seen what this thing can do. This thing is an absolute monster. It is like the pinnacle of bulky offense right now, where you can dish out so much damage with Fickle Beam. Terragosa is really popular on it. It gets plot, so you can dish out so much damage, and it's so bulky that you're almost always trading HP favorably with that regen. That Hydrapple is so hard to break. And you can always just get good damage, and then you have cleaners like Weavile, like Lycanroc, that really clean up the game. I think with Zapdos, I think Zapdos is a really good pivot between Hydrapple, so I think really good there. Where I think the team kind of went a little bit wrong, um, I think that drafting Lycanroc on a team that already has Terra Hydrapple, because you're not taking Hydrapple if you're not going to Terra it, because I don't think it's good enough to justify it without Terra. But I also don't really love Lycanroc without Terra. Like, it's fine, but that mon is really scary with Terra, so I think we could have made a better selection there, like a better Steel type. I think Mega Steelix is fine. I think Base Steelix is better than Mega Steelix, but I think it's fine for the value. But I would have maybe liked a Steel type of there, just because this team gets kind of rocked by Ice type spam, which Shadow's convinced that he's going to run Terra Steel Hydrapple. I don't think Terra Steel Hydrapple is very good. Like I said, I think Ghost, Dragon, hell, even Water are a lot better. So I think the team generally has a lot of things going for it. I mean, you can see on the checklist here, it's pretty filled out. Pretty good speed tiers overall, but I just think that Lycanroc is really going to wish it had Terra. And I also think that we're going to be running into Ice Spam a lot just because it's very easy to bring into this team. So I think overall, pretty good team. It's just got a couple of issues that I don't really love.
I don't mind the Terra Hydrapple. To me, it's just an opportunity cost thing. There's
Sure.
other mons in BE that I, my personal views, in my opinion, I'm here, I would rather use. I just think Hands would be more interesting. I think Annihilate would be more interesting. I'd rather use Petra in the bulky world of Terra than Hydrapple, personally. For me, it's not up there, but I hope he uses it well, and I hope it works.
That's fair.
All right, moving on to Cricket next. This was a pretty weird draft, in my opinion. He decided to Terra Salamence and Mousehold, which are decent Terra options. But him not having a grounded poison is probably going to make this pretty difficult, I would think.
He doesn't have
Because he has
any
a lot of
poison.
things. Yeah, he doesn't have any poison. I mean, you have Mons that want to have momentum, like they want to get out and do some damage, and then they're just gonna get poisoned, and then you're just gonna just die. And like Swampert doesn't have recovery. It's gonna be rough. Like just bring T Spikes, and this team kind of loses to it, and you're just good. But I mean, you can make he use Terra Salamence and Relicanth to some decent success.
I
I
don't
think he
think it
did.
was ever allowed.
Well, I thought we had it in the first season of Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah. You're probably right.
Yeah, he
Yeah, you're
used that
probably
to some
right.
decent success, but it looks like defensively this team is going to struggle pretty bad.
Probably. Um, I I'll just throw in. I think the thing for me that I struggle with on this team is just the overall speed options. Like Rillaboom, you could make the argument that Rillaboom is a fast Pokemon, maybe because its priority move is so spammable. But I mean, your Mousehold's not a weekly bring. Hope to be proven wrong, but it's not a weekly bring.
It's not.
So of your weekly bring mons, I wouldn't even say that a little, not until it's a weekly bring. But if you give them that one, you've got one weekly bring mon above the 100 speed. And I would personally say that you have zero weekly brings above the 100 speed, which means all the mons you face, like Weavile, all the mons you face in that ballpark are going to be adamant. They're going to be modest. It's going to be really difficult to face that type of offense without ultra reliable recovery. There is some reliable recovery in here, but not the kind of nature that I would qualify as like really reliable, heavy. It's not a bulky, balanced offense style. It's not like a semi-stall style. So no speed plus not the best bulk probably means those adamant, those modest bonds are going to wear down the roster pretty quick. If I'm guessing, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Cricket has his best season, but I'm not sure it's in the cards.
Yeah, so when I look at this, I mean, if we just start at the top, I think the top three, pretty solid. Pretty good start to the draft. I think Terra Mence, it desperately needs Terra to really pop off, so I think that was fine. I think Swampert's great value. I even think Alola Ninetales makes a lot of sense, because obviously, you want to try and get a Dragon Dance up with Mence, try and sweep with Terra. I get it. Um, Once we get there, I start having problems, and I share this like similar issues that you guys have brought up, like not having a poison type. When you have a Swampert, when you have a Rillaboom, T spikes are coming. Like I just think that's a huge misstep. Um, and I think the speed is a problem. But like Titan, I think is fine if you want to play into it. But my biggest problem with the Titan is it's not Terra. And this is going to be a theme throughout the entire video, where people have drafted a lot of things that I think really fall off without Terra, and it's just going to be prevalent. Like there was better things on the board. Like you said, Mousehold is not a weekly bring. I don't think Mousehold is very good. You just slap a Rocky Helmet on something, which, let's be honest, there's a Rillaboom. You probably want Rocky Helmet anyways. So it's not really forcing prep in my opinion. I don't think Mousehold's very good. I think Meloetta and Bellybolt are really good value picks. And then I just can't for the life of me begin to understand why we picked Dottler. Literally, E tier is where you get your budget poison. There's so many of them. I mean, this is a pretty easy change, for week 2. But, I mean, you just got to have a grounded poison or a poison of some shape or form. I don't understand the Dottler. I mean, the Driftblim, why do you need a ghost type almost? Like, you have no hazards. You have rocks on Heatran, you have rocks on Swampert. Granted, those are mons that are going to come every week, so you're going to have rocks every week, but you have no hazard stack. And there's nothing that Driftbrim plays off of, to where I don't really understand that. Another mon that gets a lot better with Terra. So I think Cricket did pretty good in the first 5 picks. I think there's a lot to like up there, but I just think once we get beyond that, there's just a couple glaring issues that really don't supplement the top of his draft. I do think there are some like decent ideas here though. Like Mence can be set up to succeed in this team. I just think the bottom half might need a little bit of iterations on it. But
There are some easy fixes though.
sure,
Like I
yes.
think Muck is still a free agent. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Skuntank is still a free agent. I'm pretty
Oh yeah,
sure.
this team needs a dark type too. It can't break bulky psychics at all.
You don't have to go pick up Dustox to fix the issues here. Like there's some really easy, good plug and play mods
Sure.
just waiting. Uh, yeah.
I agree with that. But moving on here, we're gonna, go back to the past a little bit. Welcome back to Ultra Sun and Moon, everyone. We have Malone with his, stereotypical Usum draft with the Megazard Finny Kartana at the top. Terra Kartana sounds horrifying. It's important to remember that the Ultra Beasts do not get Terra Blast. So that's basically why they're allowed, because if Kartana had Terra Blast, that thing is getting banned. But I think Malone has a pretty solid draft here. He went like Terra Stack Attacka like round 3, which, I mean, props to you for that. That's pretty sick. And I think this team checks a lot of boxes. I think, speed wise, it's pretty good. I think the typing synergies are really, like, this is a pretty tried and true core from Gen 7. Yeah, times have changed. I really wish that Raikou could have gotten a Terra option, but obviously I get it because you can't afford it with Kartana. Kartana is obviously better. Reuniclus is probably another one where I would have really liked to see that thing get Terra, but, it's just kind of the way it is. I think those mons can function without Terra a bit better than some of the other examples I've given. I love Crobat. I think maybe there's a bit to be desired with the E tier, but I think he did really well in the D tier. I mean, you get probably the best ground type in the D tier with Mudsdale. I'm actually kind of terrified with Terra Stack Attacka. This thing can do stuff, and then Hitmontop, you get a pretty good spinner, but I don't love the E tier, and that's probably my biggest grudge with the team. But for also, why does this checklist not have Tapu Fini as a bulky water?
I was gonna ask. I'm like, wait.
That can't be accurate. Tapu Fini is one of the best bulky waters in the game, but it's all good. It checks a lot of boxes here, but I don't love the E tier. I think there could be improvements, but if the biggest gripe is, the E tier picks, you did pretty well. So, good team.
Yeah. I've just spent my whole time waiting to ask about the bulky water.
Yeah, I
I
just
don't know who
noticed
made the
that.
checklist.
It also
Or-
has flip turn, so it should be a momentum
It
as
does
well.
not have flip turn.
It doesn't? I thought
Fake
it did.
news. That is Primarina.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
I wish.
want to find whoever made the checklist and we just fire them. Let's just do that.
I like
Move
that.
on.
I like that. Whoever made this prep doc, I can't remember who made it, but
Just be aware. We're coming. I like the team. I think Cortana plus Charizard X is just a nightmare fuel to try to deal with. I don't know that there are good Fizz Def counters that stop both of those two things because typically want to counter Charizard with like a bulky water. Cortana says, nay, nay, not so fast, my friend. It's nice. We finally have some speed with momentum for the first time in a minute, which feels really nice. Pretty reliable bulk here between Finny and Renucleus and throwing Mudstell there. I like Keldeo and E. The rest of E, whatever. Keldeo's cool though. I think it's a really nice team. I think it's one of my more favorite teams probably, but of course it just has Renucleus, so it's an auto A,
obviously
auto gold tier for me.
Yeah, I do like his draft. I can't wait to see what Stakataka's gonna do. Like, TCP being his co-coach, I wouldn't doubt that TCP was like, "You dude, you should draft Stakataka because that's definitely a TCP mon."
Sure.
But yeah, he's got some good value in there, and honestly, just can't wait to use it. You guys kind of checked all the boxes on that.
All right.
Masquerade could go. There are so many.
That's
I don't know.
that's true. All right, Brad, go ahead and take the Tijuana Tyranitar.
All right, table guy. I don't know who you are. I don't know
You
anything
won a
about
season
you.
of Relicanth over me.
Well,
Disrespectful.
oh yeah, yeah.
Brad forgets
Well,
that
I
league exists.
focused on the leagues, the divisions of the ASL that exist.
Whoa,
I don't focus on the other one.
That's crazy.
But no, I like a lot of the pieces here. I think in this particular format, I don't know why I've always loved this one, but I feel like in these kind of formats, like Crocodile just stands out to me.
Oh yeah.
So powerful,
Oh, yeah.
nice speed here. I top 3 dark type for me. Just period. Any format, particularly in this type of style. Love some of the value picks here. Primarina is so good. Cinderace brings so much to the table. I really wish that Deancey was Terra. Terra Deancey is so unbelievably powerful. But value everywhere. I think Mo is nice. I think Kangaskhan is really nice. I've had a lot of success with Kangaskhan and E. Crooks, extremely valuable. Prem, extremely valuable. There's just great mons all over the place that are really valuable. I don't get Jirachi Mew together. That's that's one of the only things that I'm like, wow, this is weird. I don't know how they're gonna coexist because they tend to want to do relatively similar things. I know Mew's Terra, so we're hyped for it, but maybe could have fit a different mon of a different style in that spot. I don't know necessarily exactly what. Maybe a Mega Aggron if you're looking for the Steel type. Just something a little bit different because they are very similar in nature. But I like a lot of the mons here. This is the kind of team that I would get excited about using myself.
Yeah, I do really like his hazard options that he has. It's an okay team. I probably would have changed my Terras up a little bit. Mew is really fun, but I don't really like the Mimikyu pick because you kind of want to use it more as a support piece nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. Brad, you said a lot of stuff about this team, but yeah, I just really can't wait to see what Mew does because it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, Terra Mew is definitely. I think that can be the justification for why you have Jirachi and Mew. Like if this was just no Terra on each of them, like yeah, obviously what are we doing? But Terra Mew can be pretty offensive, and I think having a strong Dark type like Crook allows you to go double Psychic. And I wholeheartedly agree. I am absolutely on the Crook bandwagon this gen. I think that Mon probably needs to get moved up in the near future. It is just so unbelievably good. Like Dark type is so valuable, Ground type is so valuable. It's gonna absolutely smash in this format. And I think Cinderace is actually really really good in this format too. 119 speed, you don't see that much high end speed other than if you go into like D tier and get some of the birds like Kilowattrel, Swellow, Talonflame, stuff like that. But like premium top end speed is not really that common. So I think Cinderace is gonna do really well. And I agree, Mimikyu as the Terra. I probably would have kept Rotom-Mow because I know Table Guy right before Grace Period ended swapped the Terra to Mimikyu from Rotom-Mow. I would have liked Rotom-Mow a lot more. I think Terra Rotom forms are super, super good. But, I mean, you guys said it. Like, this team is great. It checks all the boxes. I think we got a lot of good value with Kangaskhan and Quillfish down in E tier. And the D tiers are great. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Tangrowth anymore. But everything else, I think this is a really good team.
I mean, is it the same cost to Terra NC as Mimikyu?
No, Diancie probably costs more. He probably couldn't afford
I don't
it.
know. Maybe that's what it is, because I feel like
Yeah.
the NC is just like substantially different with Terra compared to these other monsters.
Yeah, I want to say Mew is like an 18 pointer or a 19 pointer, and then Diancie's probably like 8 to 10 points, so he probably couldn't afford it.
Fair enough.
And then I forgot the order. Is this me next? Okay.
So we're going on to Blake next. I'm glad I get to talk about this team. But one thing I need to bring up is that he's no longer the Denver Numels, which makes me a little bit sad. But
This is an even
yeah.
greater throwback. This is his
Yeah,
OG
no longer Denver
name.
Numels. Oh, this is his OG name?
Yeah, this is from GSL. A different logo.
Okay.
He changed up the logo, but this is the OG.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't around for that. But the first thing that stands out to me is like, yeah, he has a Sun team and he can get higher speed, but just base speed tiers, not really a big fan. It capping at 111. But of course you can make up with that with your Sun, which he's most likely bringing every single week. You got Sun pieces like as soon as I saw him draft Walking Wake, I thought he was just going to run back his previous team that he had last time. But he has Walking Wake to Busan, Lilligant Hisui can benefit from it. Venusaur, which is pretty fun. I love Venusaur, best mon in the whole world. And something that I don't really get in Sun is him drafting Mega Sharpedo. I don't know why that's in the Sun team, but it's there. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, so I can give some insight here. Blake definitely wanted to do a lot of his prior team. Like, I'm pretty sure he had Wake Necro. I know it was a Sun team. Like, he did pretty well with Slitherwing, I believe.
Yeah, he had Slitherwing.
But like you said, Mega Sharpedo, like, it's good Dark Spam. That's about all it's going to be on this team. I think Alolan Sandslash is a what the hell pick. Like, I don't know why that thing is here. And I think the biggest issue with this team, other than the fact that I don't really like pure weather teams, just because I think it's so hard to win a championship with it, just because you have to go through so many matchups that it's like you're going to get counter prepped. Golem is the only ground type on this team. Not sure if we got that. That's a pretty big issue. You are going to get Volt Switch to hell and back. And I also...
Give me Terra Ground Galvantula.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We're cooked. But I also think that Hisui and Lilligant in C tier is fine without Terra. But I definitely would have liked to see it Terra. I mean, I get it. Like, Wake is the better Terra. He initially had Torkoal and Registeel instead of Wake as the Terras. Changed that. I think that was a great move. So it does kind of suck not having Terra Hilligant. But, I mean, Terra Wake is pretty much a demon. So, I mean, my issues come in the form of Golem being your only ground type is really, really bad. and then I just have bias against like pure weather teams. But overall, Necrozma's scary. Screamtail Registeel's good support. There is removal. He has 6 Stealth Rock users. Good lord. So we definitely have a lot of good hazard control. So, I mean, if people don't know how to play against weather, specifically sun, I think Blake's going to have a good time. But when he runs into those matchups where it's like, okay, well, sun isn't really good here, you don't really have a choice. You kind of just have to run sun. So, a little bit interesting there.
There are a handful of things to be excited about, and there are a handful of things here that just don't work well. There are ways for him, I think, to change this team that could still support a little bit better. Maybe a Quagsire, maybe something like that, a little higher tier ground, maybe a little more. I know he's got 2 grass types, but I still feel like this team could use a reliable grass type. Help deal with some of the water ponds that might try to stop Walking Wake. I don't know that I would say either of his grass types are reliable. Plus, I feel like Venusaur, you're almost always going to prefer Chlorophyll Lilligant over Chlorophyll Venusaur. I feel like that could be swapped out with something else. I love Necrozma, love Walking Wake. I'm starting to like this Screamtail for both offense and defense. I think it has some neat setup moves. Love Lilligant play, but the bottom 5, maybe the bottom 6, don't work for me. Like Blake, I know Mega Sharpedo and Blake have a long history. I think Alolan Sandslash is bad on snow teams, much less sun teams. But the bottom 5 really just, I think, are a complete mess. Top 6, maybe 7, fun, cool. I like what you're doing. Bottom 5 don't work for me.
Yeah, I think it's fair. It's going to be a very all or nothing team. But moving on to the 7th pick in the draft, we had Terra Quackaball come off the board. We have Octa here. And I think this team is pretty good. Other than, Brett's going to talk about Mega Arrow and, get some flashbacks. But
Fucking hate that Pokemon.
Yep, you either love it or you hate it. You're either hitting all your moves and just destroying everything, or you're missing every move because 2 of your 3 best moves are, not 100% accurate. So I think this team has a lot going for it. I think the speed is a little weird. Like, you have Mega Arrow, but then you have literally nothing to complement it. So the Mega Arrow is not actually forcing you to be timid or jolly on anything, because it's like, you're not going to outspeed Mega Arrow anyways. So as long as you can get over the Pyroar, like, the speed tiers are just a little weird. Like, we have so much from 106 to 95. But, I mean, beyond that, I think Terra Quackaball has shown to be pretty much a monster. I think it was like top 5 in kills a couple of seasons ago. So Terra Quack, definitely very strong. We have a really strong hazard game here with Ferrothorn and Sandy Shocks. Obviously with Quack being a very reliable remover. I'd say like a willing remover where it's like it actually wants the speed boost. So that Rapid Spin is not a wasted move. And then Fezandipity, absolutely love Fez. Appleton without Terra's kind of weird. So I don't know what the point situation was looking like, but I would have definitely gone Terra Appleton over Terra Rune, or even Terra Obstagoon, to be honest, because I think, Terra Normal with that thing could do a lot. Terra Scyther, we've seen it, I believe it was in Relicanth where we saw it pop off. So I think there's a lot of things to like here, but outside of like Fez and Vaporeon, there's not a great defensive backbone because like Ferrothorn is only going to be hanging around for so long. It's just a bit of a weird team to me. It's kind of like the first team we were talking about with Codex, where it's like there's a lot of pieces that I like. Some of them kind of go together. It's just I'm not entirely sure how it's going to play out.
I know there's a contingent that hates Mega Arrow. I'm pro Mega Arrow. Mega Arrow can do, I think, 2 things that almost nothing else can do. It can win you matchups it should win, and it can lose you matchups it shouldn't lose. And I know that that's frustrating for people, but I love it. I enjoy that element of it. Super powerful. I'm not gonna lie. Quackaball Terra would be in my 101. I love that mon. Love that pick. Love seeing someone take advantage of it in the situation. Speed tiers are wonky as I'll get out personally. You need a 120 in there. The way that they're set up, it's just like really, honestly, it's get over Sandy Shocks, really,
Yeah.
and then have a Scarfer. That's really practically what it's going to be most of the time. Um, that's kind of strange. I really hope that he fixes that. I think this is a couple of transactions away, personally. But Fez, awesome. Vape is awesome. I really like Ferrothorn. I found a lot of value in Ferrothorn offensively. There are ways you can run Gyro Ball, Power Whip with a hazard that's really cool. Pharaoh is pretty slept on in my world, but some of the mons here, Rune, Terra Rune, I'm not sure what that's for. I'm not sure what the point here is. Like it's a mid wall with minimal recovery. I guess you could wish and try to keep it around, but I don't get the Terra Rune. But I love Quackable. I like the pieces. To me, this is like 3 transactions away from being pretty crispy.
I just want to say again, I fucking hate Mega Aerodactyl. I am definitely in the camp of it loses you games that you should win. The last time I had it, there was one specific game. I'm just talking about my experience right now because I hate this fucking mon
I
so
know
much.
the game you're
I
talking
was
about.
against Static.
Oh
I
no,
was
I
against
thought you meant the
fucking
one against
Static.
me.
I was against Static, and it was me. It was Mega Aerodactyl versus Dragapult, and I missed 3 dual wing beats in a row, and I was livid. I was
Oh
so
god.
mad, and I lost that game whenever I shouldn't have. Oh, yeah. I think there was like 4 games that season I lost because of Aerodactyl. I'm never drafting that.
Yeah, the
thing
one
again.
against me, you missed a Stone Edge to kill something, and then you missed two dual wing beats to end the game.
Yep, it was terrible. But like Brad was talking about Ferrothorn. I actually really liked the Ferrothorn. I used it on my grass monotype team in one of the off seasons, and I really liked it. It's like just prepping with it, you can do so much with it. Defense, offense, everything. It gets body press, which is really nice. Um, so many things you can do with them on. Yeah, it doesn't have the best recovery because you're kind of just relying on leech seed, but I mean, it doesn't really need it to be honest for what you're doing with it. Um, I do like Sandy Shocks here. It's unfortunate that you can't tarot it with the amount of tarot points you get because that thing is pretty nice having tarot on it as well. Pheasantipity, such a good mon. Um, and then after Vaporeon, I'm not the biggest fan of everything down there apart from Appleton. I'm probably never going to draft Pyro again. It never comes when I draft it. Um, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
The Obstagoon hate is crazy. That guy is good.
I've never used it, so
I've seen it do a lot of good things. It can be kind of like a fast Diggersby in the way that it just normal spams, but I get it. It's all good.
Diggersby isn't getting drafted, to be honest.
Diggersby's amazing, and you shut your mouth.
It needs to be drafted. All right, moving on. Who got this one?
This is Brad.
Me,
Brad.
Harvey. Harvey. Okay. All right. Cool. My old pal Harvey. I've known him for 4 minutes in the real world. My old pal. I love Iron Crown Terra. That's super fun. Used it before and had a lot of fun with it. Rotom Wash is. I don't know if there's a. Rotom Wash is up there. I know you guys know me more for Zapdos or Nucleus, but Rotom Wash is up there in my comfort mods. It maybe is in the top 5 comfort. Love Rotom Wash. Always reliable, regardless of the gen. Does cool things. Has cool tricks. Big fan of it. Megalop, I think is super good nowadays. There's a lot of pieces here that I like. A lot of speedy, well, I say a lot of, but 2 really fast mons with momentum that can come pretty regularly. And the Cyclozar's not the most reliable mon, but I've enjoyed using it leagues where I have had it. Do we do Shed Tail here? I can't remember.
Not anymore.
No, it's banned.
We banned it this season.
It's still fine. Q-turn with regenerators, super good. It feels bulkier because it has regenerator. It can take a 60% hit and you turn and like it's still relatively okay. Some nicer low tier mons for me. Bramble is fun. I think Rapidash is useful at times, and the 105 is nice. And then, the name of the ground type is eluding me right now, but I like that ground type. Sanaconda.
There you go.
The Terra, I don't know what it does with the Terra, but I like the glare. I like some of the options of Sanaconda. It's a cool team. It has some cool tricks. This is a personally attractive team to me. I like it.
Yeah, I really do like his team. There's some Mons that are like good for their roles that I just don't like them on personally, but I can see why they were drafted. I'm just not a big Florges fan in general, but I really do like Alola Muck. It doesn't get drafted nearly as often as I think it should. Um, I really like it on there. And maybe like looking at his Terras, I don't know what the point distribution was like, but I probably would have liked if Bramblegast could have been Terra. Um,
He should have been able to afford that.
yeah, he should have been able to. I feel like it might do him better in the long run. Because just like Brad said, I don't really know what he's going to do with Terra Anaconda, but I hope he can show us what he's going to do with Terra Anaconda. And there's a Megalopony there. You can't really sleep on that. Return is allowed again. I don't remember when we allowed it again, but it's been allowed for a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Lopunny without return isn't a very good Pokemon. Um, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I fall in the same boat. There's a lot of things that I like about this team. I might be a little bit more down on this team than you guys. I'm not the biggest fan of Lopunny anymore. I think it's fine for the price. Like, I think it's fine. It just gets Rocky Helmet spammed a lot. But, I mean, Cam put in a lot of success with it last season. Like, Fake Out Quick Attack Revenger, it got a lot of work done.
That was my set. That was my set.
He brought it every week and it worked. So, you know what? Props. But I do kind of hate the over-reliance on Sandaconda, this team, though. There's, like, no hazards. As you can see there, it's just Bramble and Sandaconda. Kind of rough. And I also don't really understand why we're Terraing our only ground type. It's kind of the same argument with Rune. It's like, why would you want to click Terra? Like, I feel like you want it to be a ground type. I think, either Bramble or hell, even Cryogonal would have made a little bit more sense. I think Terra Luxray, like we've seen, I can't remember if it was Mystic or PDL, but someone dropped 23 kills with it. So Terra Luxray can do a lot of things. Trailblaze Guts, I think it's a good mon. I think Rapidash is a good low tier fire. I know you hate Pyroar, Brett, but Rapidash is actually a good low tier fire.
Hey, I used it.
You use
Okay.
Rapidash?
Yeah, I used it last season I was in.
Okay, good. Rapidash is a good mon. But I think, like I said, I think there's a lot of good things about this team. I think Cyclozar is immaculate roll compression, knockoff U-turn, rapid spin. That's like the trifecta of, utility in my mind. So I think it does very well there. I think, maybe there's like a transaction we could make to try and get a better ground type on this team. Maybe get more reliable hazards on this team because, like, yes, we only have 2 hazard users, but they're also not super reliable. Like, calling back to Cricket's team, he only had Heatran and Swampert, but those mons are coming every single week. But now it's like, okay, you're kind of forced to run Sandaconda each week because it's a ground type, but it's not that great. And then it's like, okay, do you want a Bramble in there? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I do think, Terra Crown is awesome. I think there's a lot of things to like about this team. Just a little bit of holes here and there, but I think overall it's pretty good. And then
Right.
I believe this is me, but do you want to take it since it's your team?
Didn't you just do Harvey?
No, that
Oh,
was
wait, who did
Brad.
we do? Brad did Harvey. No, this is me.
Oh,
My team.
oh yeah, we perfectly timed this and planned this out, so you'd get
Yeah,
this one.
totally. We did this just for
Perfect.
me.
Go ahead.
I am so excited for this team. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, I don't think I've been this excited to use a team in years. It was kind of funny. I initially went into this thinking, okay, I'm gonna draft Mega Beedrill because it's a lower tier format and that thing's just gonna hit like a truck. And then I was just like, okay, I got a fast Pokemon. Let's draft some hazards and stuff. And Hutch was just like, hey, look, Tredge is there. And I'm like, oh, that works perfectly because it can help support Mega Beedrill. Let's grab Treads. And then I just started picking Mons that kind of synergized together, and I realized I was kind of drafting Brad's team
I
from
was gonna
last time he
say.
was here. So it's kind of like a half Brad's old team, half my baby, even though it wasn't really that intentional. But I like what I have here. But Terra Thundi is gonna be a monster. And then I was kind of torn between whether I should pick up Pangora or Scrafty. And Scrafty being was it lower tiers? Like Terra points than Pangor. I don't remember, but Scrafty has a little bit more defense, so I went ahead and picked it, and I Terra'd it because it can do quite a bit with Terra.
I
And then
believe
I'm
they're the
actually
same points.
oh, they are okay.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for my low tiers as well. I was telling Hutch before the draft started, I'm drafting Kingler this season,
Damn right you are.
and I fucking drafted Kingler this season. I'm so fucking excited for this team. You guys can talk about it. I'm just happy.
Brad, go ahead and take it. He copied your homework.
I will tell you, half of this team is incredible. Roughly half of it. But the other half's like whatever, but half of it is like championship caliber. But no, I mean this is a road well traveled, right? I always appreciate the respect and going back and taking a team that's already done it and proven it can win. So you have a lot of those same pieces here. Sableye, incredible value for each tier.
Oh yeah.
Treads is frankly incredible value for any tier. And then you throw in Hatterene, which is, I think Hatterene's a higher skill use mon, but incredibly useful. So many tricks and tools. Shaman is just kind of a pain. It's just kind of annoying. It's not the best at anything, but it's super good at most things. I don't love kind of that D tier area. Miltank's good. I'm not in on Scrafty. Cloister, I love personally. Gen 1 fan here. Unlike most of you, I was alive when Pokemon Red came out. Loved Cloister. Don't think it's that good. Hope to be proven wrong. Pretty much everything outside of D is solid for me. Pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is like, it's pretty obvious, makes sense synergies, and like you said, it's with a team that's already, I'm pretty sure you won with this, right? I think you
Yeah,
won.
Pretty sure I won.
Yeah, so you won with this. Obviously, there was a Dragon Pult instead of a Mega Beedrill and a couple different things there, but I mean, Treads and Mega Bee make so much sense together. Like Mega Bee doesn't love dealing with those Steel types, with those Poison types. Treads clears the way. Treads, is 1A, 1B with Terapagos for the best spinner in the format, or frankly, most formats. So I think that's just great to get off the bat. Terra Thundi, just an absolute demon. And I think your top 8 are incredible. Now, my issue with Cloister on this team, and I think Cloister in D tier has a lot of value. And I wish you could have Terra'd it. Obviously, it's too expensive. It's all good. But, because I would like to see that thing with Shell Smash in D tier with Terra, but it's all good. I think this team is pretty scary into fire types. Like, you obviously have ways that you can break it, but swapping into fire type moves kind of scary. Like, obviously Miltank has thick fat, which kind of helps, but your water types are not really going to come in on special attacking fire types. Like, obviously Cloister and Kingler really, really strong on the physical side of things, but that's a little bit scary. But for the most part, I think it's really good. Like you guys said, Sableye is ridiculous value in E tier. It gets Prankster Encore in a world where, Shell Smashes everywhere, setup sweepers everywhere. Like, Prankster Encore is such an amazing thing to have in your back pocket. Where it's like, I think this team is just really good. Like, the speed tiers make a lot of sense. I think Scrafty, I'm a pretty big Scrafty fan. Like, even in the modern day, I loved using it back in Oras and Usum, but I think it's still really good just being like, a blanket check. It's not going to be Terra that often, let's be honest. Terra Thundi is the star of the show here, but I even considered Mega B just because I think it's really good. So I think this has got to be a top 5 team, if not higher than that. But moving on here.
Like Crafty though, but I do think there's things like maybe a Hisuian Quillfish that would be a little more useful for the team. I'm not against Crafty, but like Hisuian Quill, I think is the same tier.
Yeah, it's D tier.
And I think would do more for this roster.
That's fair. That's a fair point. But moving on here, I'll just say it off the bat. I think this is the best team in the draft. I think it's close with one other team. We'll get there at some point. But I have no fucking clue how no one thought to draft Terra Raging Bolt in the first round. Like, I went into this draft thinking, okay, it's Terra Zarude, which he takes here at like 11, which is just fucking stupid. This is like probably the best Terra captain in the draft. Terra Zarude, Terra Raging Bolt, which again he gets in the second round because no one took it, and Terra Ogerpon Wellspring. Like, I think those were the three best Terra captains. And people, we tried to be a little bit experimental, open up some different Terras. So people want to try stuff. I get it. But, I mean, BGC just capitalized on everything falling into his lap. Gets Celesteela in the third round. I hate Celesteela, but it's not because it's bad. It's just because I just despise how the Bond plays. But then we get, an incredible B tier. Like, I don't know if it's the best B tier, but it's up there. The other team that I'm thinking about that is close to being the best team also has an insane B tier. But then we get Donphan, great spinner, knockoff rocks, very reliable. Blastoise, very reliable spinner. I really like Azelf. I think Azelf is a really good piece there. And then the D tier is awesome, like Talonflame, Comfey. I really wish the Comfey was Terra. Kind of sucks because Terra Comfey is honestly a monster, but I don't think he could afford it. So you obviously have to do Terra Zarude. Like, it's not worth it without a B tier. Pangoro is good value though. And then the E tier is kind of whatever, like Garbodor, Grounded Poison. I think it's fine. I think Muck is way better. Muck and Swalot are both way better, but it's all good. Corsola Galar, we've seen that, have some success in the past. And then Glalie just, a lot of base stats for being down there. And you see in our checklist, it's the only thing with no red in it. And I think that, shows up on the eye test too. I think this team is probably the most well put together team. It's got a lot of ways to beat you. And I think it's just scary. I think this is a really good team.
Probably Garbodor for T-Spikes, right?
Sure, yeah. But I think Muck and Swallow both get T-Spikes.
Yeah. I guess Muck does get T-Spikes now, doesn't it?
Base
Does it
Muck
get T-Spikes?
might not. Alolan Muck definitely does, but Swallow 100% does. And I think Swallow would have...
It does get Toxic Spikes now.
Okay, it
This
does.
should be a day move. You should just drop Garbodor right now.
Yeah,
Pick up,
there's literally no reason not to.
You get 100% better mod right now for that. But yeah, great Terra Zarude, love it. Probably better than Terraquaquaqule. Terraquaquaqule would still be my 101. Terra Zarude, so cool. Raging Bolt totally has stolen my heart. It's not a mon I thought I would like, but it's just faster than it's supposed to be. I think Raging Bolts should be like 45 speed based on like its build and its setup, and then it's 75 and it's just unbelievably fast for what it is. Love that mon. Donphan's an OG in my book. Going back to comfort mons, super great. There's a lot of stuff on here I like. Again, pretty quick, like nice momentum on your quick mons. That's always important to me. A mon that gets above the 110 mark with some type of U-turn or momentum for me is like a whole tier above mons that are similarly fast but without momentum. I like a lot of the pieces here. Also, don't like Celesteela. It's a bulky but not recovery based mon. I know it has Leech Seed, but that's not how I prefer to live. I think this team might be better if it had like a Vaporeon instead of a Blastoise and kind of Wishpasser that could support things like Raging Bolt, or even getting an Audino in here for just something like that could support some of these bulkier mons that would appreciate Wish. So it's not a complete team for me. I think it's still one or two pieces away, like dropping Gargoyle from Muck. I think that's easy, but very close, really good. I know. I believe Comfey gets Wish, but that's not real.
I don't think it does, actually.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, I thought for a minute it did, but even if it did, that was terrible idea. So maybe 2 transactions for me here, but I really like the team.
Yeah, it's a decent team overall. Going back to Celesteela again, in recent seasons, BGC has probably used it the best. I can't. I think the last time I saw it used good was back in like Gen 7 when TCP had it. To be honest, it just hasn't been a very shining all star, and BGC knows how to use it. So I can't wait to see what it does. But Pangoro's on here as a Terra captain. I like Pangoro. It kind of stole my heart when I used it last time. Um, yeah, changing Garbodor, just like you guys said. There's other things that he could pick, and you guys really said everything. I don't even know what to say about it.
All right,
It's a good team though.
we can go ahead and move on then.
I've got Kami's team. Uh, this is not my kind of thing, man. These are the kind of team I hate. I do not like teams. The score Terra is, I guess, just bulky without the blood weakness. That's cool. Pussies, possible kills. That's cool. But if you took those two off of this team and made them more offensive ones, I would really like this. Versatile offensively, it has a lot of really good offensive uses, and I feel like people just use it for a bulky wall, and it's such a shame because it's so good and it's so powerful and it can be so assertive. Um, people throw it on stall, and it's such a disappointment for a mon that has 120-ish special attack, and I think its attacks like 100 or so, uh, and really nice move pulls. It's a great mon. So I hope this team doesn't go down the just 100 turn route, because there's great mons here like Halucha, like Mega Venusaur, and even Terra, whatever the Dragon Dark thing is. I'm forgetting its name right now. Um, that could be cool. There's some cool things here. Yeah, there's some cool pieces here, but I'm afraid this will just be a boring 80 to 100 turn match, and I won't see a single one of the replays all season. I'm not sticking around for that.
Yeah, as someone who's gonna have to watch through this guy's matches, I mean, I'm already dreading having to watch these replays because of the top three. Like, I love Mega Venusaur. It's on my only championship team. That thing, it's made a defensive role too much. It can do so much. I was a kill leader with it. It's so good. You just look at this team and you just see stall just looking at the first three mons, and I hate it. I don't like the team. But there's some pretty good stuff down there. I like that Halucha's here with two different terrain setters. You're not always forced to bring one. Oh, like you're not always forced to just bring one to utilize it. You can bring the other one as well, and you can do some stuff there. And Poleon's a pretty decent Pokemon. It's just good. And Incineroar is there, which is a Terra captain. I don't know if I would have Terra'd Incineroar over Kofag. I would assume Kofag is more points to Terra. I probably would have Terra'd Kofag.
Probably. It's probably similar though.
Yeah. And I don't like the E tier Pokemon like at all. Guzzlord's pretty cool with Terra, but I don't like Guzzlord as a Pokemon in general. And I'm not super high on this team. Probably change a couple things to make it better, but it just looks like it's going to go down the stall route currently.
Yeah, so it is funny here that we're going from my favorite team to my least favorite team, right back to back. I just have no idea what this team wants to be. Like with a lot of the other teams, it's like, okay, I understand what you're doing, but like, what the hell do we want to be? Do we want to be stall? Do we want to be terrain abuse? Like, I don't. You just mono lose to every flying type ever, so I don't understand what the team wants to do. I think Terra Gliscor of what you picked makes the most sense. Like, I think Terra Gliscor was actually pretty good. I personally like running it on ladder. You run like SD Terra Normal with Facade. It's pretty strong. You eliminate a lot of those weaknesses. So I think Gliscor is going to have to be a focal point of this team. But what are we doing with Tapu Bulu, Mega Venusaur? I have no idea why these two are together. they don't complement each other at all. Like this team also just loses to any Celesteela, Skarmory, Corv, which maybe only Selly was drafted, but like, I mean, this team just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I think Halucha is fine, but I just don't know why we drafted Bulu. I don't think Blissey and B tier makes any sense. I think Blissey and B tier is horrible. Um, I also think that Kaffa would have been a lot better as the Terra Captain over Incineroar, but okay, Incineroar for Terra Captain. I could see that working out. I do think Boltund, you have to Terra Captain it. I think it's like a decent Terra Captain, to be honest. In terms of low tier, like really, really fast, and Strong Jaws makes it hit pretty hard. But I don't really understand why we aren't tearing that. I think Guzzlord can operate without it. You know, Hydreigon functions properly as a defensive mon without it. So I don't really understand what the point of this team is. Like, do you want to be stalled? Do you want to be terrain abuse? You know, I don't think the removal options are all that great. I don't think, you know, Defog, like, Empoleon doesn't like to fit Defog. Defog doesn't make any sense on Gliscor, and Defog is the only option. And it doesn't make sense in general because you have a Gliscor. Like, Gliscor is really good at setting hazards, but it doesn't make sense that you only have Defoggers. So I just think there's a lot of anti-synergy in this team that it's like, I mean, I'm sure Okami will, you know, have more success than we're thinking here. Like, you know, I didn't really love his team last season, and then he just absolutely demolished me with a Terra Tyrantrum, so I'm fully ready to eat my words here, but I just don't really understand what this team is trying to be, but, you know, we'll see.
All right, so next it's your team, Hutch. Do you want to take it?
Sure, I'll take this one. So here we are, you know, coming off of another finals loss. What is new? I went ahead and I got Terapagos in the first round. Like I said earlier, I think Iron Treads and Terapagos are the two best spinners in this format. And, you know, you could throw Tusk in there in other formats. But I think Terapagos is just ridiculous. It's going to need to move up, I think. In B tier, it's just way too much value. The thing is too good. And then coming back around to me, also what I said earlier, I think Ogerpon Wellspring is like a top 3 Terra in this format. Like, it just demolishes things. And then Kyurem pairs pretty well with Ogerpon Wellspring. Like, Wellspring has the biggest issues dealing with bulky grasses, bulky dragons. Kyurem can just demolish them. And then I went ahead and I grabbed Mesprit pretty early because I think that thing is really, really good. Gives us Healing Wish, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Stealth Rocks. But Healing Wish is really nice. It can be offensive with Mystical Power. Grabbed it with Tinkaton. Again, Fairy Steel, great typing, good roll compression. And then I'm pretty happy about Saraledge here. I don't think it's had a lot of success in the ASL. I think it has like a 30% win rate or something like that. I think someone put that in chat the other day. But yeah, I think my top 9 is incredibly good. Like, I'm a Gligar believer in Nat decks. I know it's not that good in Paldea decks. But in Nat decks, it's really good. It's still got all of its tools. Maybe it's not the best primary ground type, but I wanted Crook, so it got sniped. It is what it is. Think my speed tiers could be a little bit better, maybe some more top end speed, but my top 9 is incredible. And then Tauros Paldea, pretty solid in E tier, and then Terra Captains being Go-Goat and Lantern, pretty solid E tiers. So I think the top 9 is coming, like, could come any week, and then the bottom 3 are solid to supplement.
I like a lot of the pieces here. Kyurem is always one of my favorites with the freeze dries, man. Terra Ogerpon, super fun, super powerful. Mega Bird's always been one of my favorite of that genre of the speedy glass cannons. The Hurricane Spam's always good. Great click. And it comes with U-Turn and Heat Wave. So it's very hard to just counter it unless you're just a giant Spinef wall. And then you can U-Turn into something like Ogerpon, which can just usually slap most Spinef walls. So a lot of pieces here. They're great. Mesprit and Tinkaton are very like glue-mon type things, you know? Super reliable. A lot of fun options that they can do, whether it be Thunder Wave or whatever. Very good. I like most of the pieces here. The thing that kind of sticks out to me that I'm concerned about is just the physical offense. I know you've got Ceruledge there. I know you've got the Ogerpon. But it does stick out to me that I don't think Ceruledge is reliable physical offense, which means most weeks Ogerpon is probably going to be your one way of being assertive on the physical offense side. And I have gone on record to say that physical offense is the best offense. Now, you can get burned, but you can't slap an assault vest on physical attack by half. So that maybe, Kiram, you can make the argument Kiram's a pretty good physical attacker. I like it better on the special side for the freeze dry effect. But
I agree.
that is the one concern I have as I look at this team.
I think my favorite thing about your team, Hutch, is that you drafted 5 Pokemon that have pink on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite thing. But yeah, Terapagos is just, it's an insane Pokemon. Best spinner ever. It has an amazing ability. It can do so much for you. And I'm really excited to see Mega Pidgeot used again. That thing doesn't get used enough. Ceruledge, I think the only time I've liked somebody using it was the short time Drav had it when it first came out, before she dropped it. I honestly can't wait until Brad uses that Pokemon if he comes back. Have you used that yet?
I don't think I have.
This is a very you Pokemon.
It is.
I cannot wait to see Brad use it.
Shadow Sneak's one of my most favorite moves. I've said before, like if Golurk had Shadow Sneak, it would be on 95% of the teams that I drafted.
Oh yeah.
I really like Ceruledge. I just don't think it's not that I don't love them on. I love them on. I don't think it's a weekly bring. I don't think it's as reliable as some other physical attackers. I would love to get my hands on it, but I also use things that aren't typically conventionally good.
That's fair. I do wish I could have Terra'd it because I know Terra Ceruledge is like really, really good. But obviously like Ogerpon's right there. What am I gonna do? Not Terra my Ogerpon? But yeah.
And then another thing is during the draft, Hutch posted a picture of Kevin Durant and then drafted Go-Goat.
I posted a picture of LeBron for the record. Let it be known.
Yeah, posted a picture of Kevin Durant.
That's just not true.
That's just not true.
It was a GIF of LeBron. Why are we gaslighting? That's crazy.
Okay, I don't watch basketball. So
clearly, it was a LeBron GIF, and you're like, "Who is this?"
Asking who was in there, and then you said,
"I thought you were
gaslight me." No. I just don't watch basketball.
I thought you were rage
No. I'm genuinely asking that. He's like, I'm not falling for it. I'm like, what do you mean falling for it? What is it? Kevin Durant? And then he's like, no. And then he fell for it eventually. And I wasn't even trying to make him fall for it.
So I didn't fall for it because it wasn't a real trap. It was a real inquisition.
You didn't know that until just now.
Which is crazy to me.
But yeah, it's a good team.
Anyways, go ahead and take this one since I just took that one from you.
Yeah, I'll take this one, and then Brad can take the last one. But This is Keister's team. I have been waiting for Golden Go to be on a team where it can actually shine. And I think this is the team that's going to actually let it shine. There's a lot of Pokemon on here that I really like. Roaring Moon. I'm just going to go through them and list them. There's Roaring Moon, Go-Goat. I freaking love Starmie. That's such a good Pokemon. Terra Colossal is fantastic. Illumise, Drav would say that's like the best Pokemon ever, and it's on this team. Arbolive is on here. The only thing I've seen it do once is Hutch used it to kill a Fluttermane once.
It is a Fluttermane counter.
It's a Fluttermane counter. And Mega Kang, I don't know how I feel about Mega Kang is gone.
I hate it.
I in theory, it's really good, but it's just not. It's just not. But I can't wait to see Keister use it because I can't remember the last time that thing was actually drafted. But yeah, lots of good pieces on here. No bulky water, but you can always like bring Terra Water or freaking Colossal. if you do need that bulky water, but I don't think it necessarily needs a bulky water on the team. But yeah, Hutch would know more about this team than I will, so I'm going to let Brad go next. He can talk about it.
I know that he originally had planned a couple of different things. I believe his original plan was Mega Slowbro.
He did have that for a brief time.
I'm the reason he doesn't. You're welcome.
Yeah, there were some snipes and some various things. I personally like this better than the Mega Slowbro team. I know Darm has some offensive ability, and it's a little different, but Embor is still an absolute nuke. Doesn't come with a momentum, but it's still a nuke. Incredibly powerful, and it comes with the bonus fighting intelligence. Super good. And Embor has a couple of tricks up its sleeve too. I'm a huge Embor fan. I don't understand the Colossal thing. I know he's a big Colossal guy. Get that garbage out of here.
Whoa!
Is actually fairly reliable for me. Yeah, Colossal garbage.
That's crazy.
A lot of there's a reason to YouTube. Send it on. Love Kilowattrel. Roaring Moon I've used before. Had a lot of fun with it. Kira Enam should be Nightmare Fuel. Mega King, whatever. Take it or leave it. But I think the defense side of this team is more going to be Golden Go Clodsire. That should be really good. Like complimentary, I feel like. Our Believe is actually, I think, very useful. Really nice mod. There's some things here that I don't love together. Like, you got two kind of glass cannon offenses with Enam and Roaring Moon. Maybe buy one, build around it instead of having two. But they are a little bit different, and they should cover kind of different things. And he has some low tier mods, I think, that can get him by. It's pretty good. This is the kind of roster that gives other offensive teams trouble. There's a lot of good pieces around. And Starmie's sneaky good. Unbelievable coverage on Starmie. Classic Gen 1 mod. Love it. It's a good team. I think it's totally fine.
All right, well, since you both love Starmie so much, you can both thank me for talking him into this, because he wanted Mega Bro, because we love Starmie around here. Like, he had Mega Bro initially, and then he was like, he wanted like a Hitmon, but they got sniped back to back, so he was just like not gonna have removal, which is like kind of insane. So went ahead and dropped it for Starmie. And I hate Mega King. I think Mega King sucks. It gets 3-shot by Rocky Helmet. Tough scene, bro. But I think for the price and for what it actually does on this team, I actually think it makes a lot of sense with Golden Go. I think a bulky Mega King is like kind of in the cards here. So I think it actually has some merit on this team. I just hate when people like have it as like a focal point on their team. Like, it makes no sense because the thing is just so easy to counter prep. But when I was talking earlier about BGC's team, where it's like, okay, he has an insane B tier, I think Keister's is arguably better. Like, this is, like, I would have this up there with BGC's team as, like, the best team in the league. I wanted Roaring Moon to come back to me. I wanted Terapagos Roaring Moon, but Keister took it one pick after me, and then paired it with Golden Go and, you know, Terra Enam. That's just ridiculous. This is such a scary team. Like you said, Clodsire, very complimentary piece to Golden Go. You know, Clodsire is going to get those hazards up, and Golden Go is going to make sure that they stay. I think there's a lot of synergy there. Kilowattrel, really good speeds here. Keep adding to a already really fast team. And then I think my biggest gripe with this team, not having a bulky water kind of sucks, but I think it's fine. My biggest gripe is kind of the lower tier Terras, and I'm not entirely sure what the points were looking like, but I think Terra Colossal is good, but I'm kind of the opinion, and I said this earlier, it's kind of been the theme. It's like, how often are you going to bring Terra Colossal with the intent of that being your Terramon over Terra Enam? Probably not a lot. So I don't love drafting mons that are like Terra exclusive, which I think Colossal certainly is. So I maybe would have liked to see a Terra on Arboliva or on Embor. Like, I think Embor could be really strong with that. You know, it's like a budget Darm if you want to look at it like that. Arboliva had a lot of success with it. So I don't love that, but otherwise I think Colossal with Terra can be very good. It can do a lot of things for you, give you another removal option outside of Starmie, and then Illumise, we've seen it do so good. Drowsy's used it so well in the past. She's shown us how to use it, but I think this team is excellent. The top three are they're just horrifying. Like, I mean, I've kind of come back around to liking Terra Moon. I thought it was good at first, and then I thought it was a fraud. I think I'm back in the camp that I think Roaring Moon is decent, and especially in like a reduced format, I think the thing is going to do so well. So I think Keister has an excellent team here. Then...
There's too many people on the Colossal train. It's wrong. Get off of it. It's not good.
We need more renewable
I think
energy.
I'm last.
Yeah, you are.
With Inkfish. I don't know what the name is now, but it's forever and always going to be Ink for me. With the strangest not sand team, I love Excadrill. It's a super fun mon. Really good. I don't think it needs sand to be successful. Pairing it with Latios and getting the ground immunity right away to support the steel weakness to ground. I like it. Like the top two. You throw in Togekiss and Melodic, there's some fun pieces going on. I don't know about the Terra Iron Moth. I've not really seen it or fooled with it. I kind of got out of the game a little bit recently, and I would imagine it's good.
It's fairly
I imagine it's useful. But it's just kind of an unknown for me. But the first five, minus the moth, because I just don't know about it, I'm real big fan of. And then after that, not a big fan of most of the rest of it. The speed tiers for me don't work. To me, the fastest reliable mon on his roster is 110. Either way you look at it, that's not a good place to be in my book. I know he's had success with Sceptile in the past, but that's not a reliable mon. I like Mega Absol. I've drafted it personally several times. It's not a reliable mon. You got 3 mons that are very good and very reliable, all at 110 or within 2 points of 110. And then your next speed tier is 88. So the whole 190 area, nothing. I love is that Dusk Noir, I believe, right?
Yeah, no.
Titanol. Big fan of Titanol, big fan of Noir. And even maybe the top 6, I'll give you that, although I think you've got to lose something in the 110 to 108. One of those 3 have to go. And Cobalion would be the one for me. There's pieces here that I think are awesome, particularly maybe the first 5. And then just a whole pile of stuff that I just don't think fit the first 5. It feels like there was a vision for the early draft, and then no idea what to do after that. That's just my read. That's my take for me.
So there was, whenever this team was getting created, there was quite a bit of bullying in the mod chat for much.
Yeah, I wear this as a badge of honor. This guy drafted Dougie Cress on the wheel. Ain't no way.
Yeah, there was a lot of bullying going on in the mod chat for this team. I like Excadrill when it's not me using it. It'll always be used better whenever it's not me using it. I got to draft that thing again at some point and try to redeem myself, but
Excadrill shudders in fear.
I kind of ruined its stats. I really did. I ruined its stats. Togekiss, I always like seeing get drafted. I hate it when people just slap a scarf on it and try to flinch with it. But Togekiss is just a decent mon in general. Like Brad said, speed tiers are kind of wonky. I've never really liked Mega Absol either. Well, I mean, Brad said he liked it, but I don't like this mon. It gets magic bounce whenever you don't really want to be switching it in like that. I don't know. It's a weird team for me. I don't know how to. I wouldn't know how to use this team if I had it.
Yeah, so I think I definitely agree with you, Brad. I think the top five are really, really good. Like I said, his initial plan had Cresselia and Doug Trio instead of the Drill and Latias, and he initially swapped out Cresselia for Latias, which, we were just looking through like, okay, what else could you do? Latias made a lot of sense. Like, it had a lot of what Cress had, and it's just genuinely a better mon. So it was Doug Trio Latias, and I thought that made a lot of sense. And also, this guy was trying to tell us the entire draft that if you stuck Cresselia here, and Doug Trio, and it was Nihiligo instead of Iron Moth initially as well, that wasn't stall. It was definitely stall. Doug Trio is a stall staple. So I don't know what this guy was on, but it was definitely stall. But once you got rid of the Crest and you just had your top three would be Dougie, Latios, and Iron Moth. I think that actually made a lot of sense because Doug Trio is going to be able to trap a lot of these steel types for Latios. And it's a more offensive trapper, not just I'm going to trap whatever kills my Cresselia and then we're going to turn 150. So I think it made a lot of sense, but then he was toying with the idea of getting Mamoswine, ends up getting Drill. I think I would have preferred Mamoswine, to be honest. I don't know if I love Drill without Sand. Like Brad said, the D tiers don't make a lot of sense in E tiers. I don't know if Cobalion makes the most sense in this team. I mean, it's fine. Sceptile, he's obviously used it a bunch, so I'm not gonna question it. Mega Absol, I think, is the most in theory mon of all time. I don't think it's any good. Like, it can't be at a Steel type or a Fairy type. Like, what are you gonna do? Hit Iron Tail twice? Probably not. You're gonna miss and just fucking die. And like Brett said, it's a Magic Bounce user that never wants to come in and take a hit. So if you're wrong and you take a hit, it just dies instantly because it's super frail. So I think Mega Absol is just an on paper mon that never actually pans out. BGC had it last season, never got it going. But I think Type Null's good. I think Pink Urchin moving down to E tier, picking that up, enables the Iron Moth, enables the Sceptile. So I actually really like that pick down there. Dust Noir's solid. I don't really get the Vespiquen, but yeah, I think this team, and like Togekiss, I think great nasty plot, really good stall breaker. So I don't like Scarf Togekiss either, but I think nasty plot's a really good set. So I think there's a lot to like about this team, and it's definitely like, okay, he drafted a lot of mons that are very comfortable to him. I think Terra Iron Moth, that's something I was looking at. That mon is really, really good. We'll just have to see. Like, I don't think the supporting cast for the top 5 or so are that great. But, I mean, when does Lechonk ever draft anything conventional? I mean, he doesn't usually. This is probably one of his more conventional teams other than last season. But he always tends to, have success with what he's comfortable with. So we'll have to see. But I think I like most of this team. Just some parts that are a little bit interesting.
I definitely think maybe consider swapping the Cobalion for something like Slitherwing. Getting a little bit more momentum, adding a little bit more physical bulk, and you get a little bit better priority there.
Yeah.
Might be worth considering.
I also don't love that your only rocker is Drill. That's like really bad. Because your other hazard setters, like, okay, Moth with Toxic Spikes is like a pretty solid bring, but otherwise you have to bring an E tier. So like the hazards are just not here, and I think we could supplement that. Also, Cobalion has Stealth Rock, so this doc is just so insanely wrong. But even then, I don't love having to run Stealth Rock on Cobalion. It kind of still fits the theme regardless of the doc being wrong. So
I do think Drill has plenty of value here. I think Gladios is great support for it. Drill with Spin and Sword Stance is incredibly powerful, and it doesn't have the immediate sand threat. But it also doesn't come with the shackles of I've got to run sand every week.
Yeah.
Drill can run some support sets that's useful, and do various things more than just, hey, throw a life orb on me and send me out to the sand. I think that this is, if used well, could really unlock Drill and allow it to be the offensive presence that I believe it's worthy of.
That's fair. I think Scarf Mold Breaker is like, I think I like it more than Sand Drill, to be honest. Like, it's just so good. But yeah, we'll have to see on the Drill. But I believe that is all 14 teams. Thank you guys all for joining us in this hour and a half almost. So we kept it kind of short. We did pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. Before you do end the recording, though, Hutch, I would like to do like a little bit of a small announcement.
Go for it.
Um, for every week, we are kind of bringing back power rankings. I'll be doing a watch together stream while doing a sort of power rankings tiered list of all the teams. Um, the day of the week will be a scheduled day that happens every week. I don't know what day that will be yet. I will have to figure that out. But yeah, everybody look forward to having a weekly community thing to watch with some power rankings in there.
Sweet. Yeah. Thank you for putting that on. We haven't had that in a long time, or at least like consistent streaming or uploads. So everyone be sure to tune into that. Maybe we'll have some special guests on, but yeah, something to look forward to. Anything else you guys want to say before we get on out of here? All right. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. Kind of doubt that we'll do anything else in this format. Like I said, Brett will be doing these weekly, so be sure to tune into that for more thoughts on the season. Thank you guys all for watching.
Good luck out there, boys. Go get some wins.
We'll do. All right. Bye-bye.